just so incredible. Hall of Fame linebacker, two-time Defensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion, former 49ers head coach, of course, Mike Singletary. I'm watching that. What did 65 on the Packers do to you? Who is that? What's the story there?
He was holding me just a little bit. And you kind of get tired of it after a while. So
that'd be like me. He was a little bigger than you, Mike.
Most of them were, but you got to work overtime. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and you were tenacious. And I got to say, this rivalry, it's here, it's back, it's so fun. Football is a more beautiful, better place when the Bears and Packers are looking the way that they do. When I just say Green Bay Packers to Mike Singletary, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Wow. History.
Tell me more.
Well, when I think of the Packers, I think of Lombardi. I think of you got to think of George Halas. You got to think of Lambeau Field, Soldier Field. There's so many great players that the Packers have had early on, and Bears were building up, but the Packers' consistency have been pretty amazing throughout the years.
It's true, and now the Bears are more competitive. They're looking good. We'll dig into that. I do want to ask you about a Bears-Packers memory that only you can sort of paint the picture for me, or the smell, maybe rather. 1985, Week 9. What does Mike Singletary remember about Green Bay putting horse manure in your locker room?
Wow. What I remember about Green Bay at that time when Forrest Gregg was there, wow, it was Coach Ditka and Forrest Gregg all over again, as if they were playing on the field. They didn't like each other. It was very obvious they didn't like each other. And it spilled over into the locker room and into the players that played in the game.
You were the DPOY in 1985, game high 14 tackles against the Packers, which was amazing, solidifying sort of a sweep that year. Did that affect you at all? What did that do to you?
Wow. Yeah. Could you ask that question again, please?
I just wonder, what that did to you. Did this rivalry, maybe even in general, did this rivalry bring out something in Mike Singletary throughout the years?
I think the Green Bay Bears rivalry brings out a lot. As I said, the very first thing I think about is history. From there, you think of the two iconic coaches, George Halas, and when you're thinking of Green Bay, it's just absolutely amazing what Lombardi brought to the game. And then it filters into the fans. The fans. I mean, there are families that half of the house is a Green Bay fan and half of the house are Bears fans. And for that day, they don't talk to each other. They don't like each other. It's kind of like a civil war. And we're right up the road from each other. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty awesome. I think it's an old school kind of football rivalry that some of the people that don't like each other, when you say the Bears don't like the Packers, it's at different levels. Some really mean it. We don't like them. We don't talk to them. We don't want anything to do with them. And then, of course, you have the ones that just say, hey, you know what? I don't like them on that day. But it runs deep for a lot of families.
Yeah, and now the rivalry has some stakes to it. Ben Johnson, infectious. Caleb Williams, succeeding, getting better. The defense looks good. What is the one thing about the Bears that has stood out the most to you, a legendary Bear?
I think when I look at the Bears, I look at Caleb Williams. I think the defense has played well. I think special teams, they've had good plays. But when I think of Caleb Williams, he brings something there's an edge that he brings to the game that the leadership, the style, I really like what I see in him. Of course, the offensive line, they did a great job in the offseason, making sure that they could run the ball to take some of the heat off of the quarterback, make sure that the offense had more balance. But when I look at the Bears and I think their season, I think about their win-loss record, I think of Caleb Williams and the thing that he's been able to do as a quarterback.
I think a lot of people would say it's Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson deserves all that credit. Can you talk a little bit more about Caleb in that what he brings, even from, there's the edge, which I very much agree with. Like, he's got that dog in him, as the kids would say. What else about Caleb, or what stands out to you as a playmaker, as someone on the field getting better week in, week out? Because I like that you're giving the credit to Caleb and not going right to Ben Johnson.
Well, I think when I think of Ben Johnson, it's really cool to see a player that needs someone to come alongside him and sort of teach him the game from another perspective. And I think Ben Johnson has been able to come in and be able to teach the student, and the student was a willing learner. And I think there was a match. It's going to be interesting to see from this point on how the Bears fare. I'm excited to see the game this week. I think it's coming at a great time. I think the Packers are playing good football. I think the Bears are playing very confident football. I think they're executing. And both these teams are meeting each other at a great time. And I think after this game, it's going to tell you a lot about the maturation of Caleb Williams, and it's going to tell you a lot about Jordan Love and his ability to lead the Packers as well in a rivalry. So I'm excited to see the game.
It'll be very cold, which you're used to. Who wins this game and why?
Wow. Obviously I want to say the Bears because I think the Bears are hot. I think they've been hot. I think they're playing with a tremendous amount of momentum. Green Bay, I think, had gone cold for a little bit, and they've come on the last couple of weeks and kind of gotten together and found some momentum to play well as a team. So I'm really looking at whichever coordinator is able to come out, whichever head coach has their team ready to execute and maybe not get so much tied up into the rivalry and the history and all of those things. Really look at this as an opportunity to go out and just showcase who we are right now. Who are we today? And I think that the team that's ready to make that statement is going to win this game.
And that team is which one?
Say that again?
And which team is that?
You're really trying to press me
I'd
here.
like to know who you think is the better.
The Bears. I mean, that's the easy thing to say. I'm going to say the Bears.
To go into Lambeau.
I got to go with the Bears.
To go into Lambeau, I cannot even imagine. Ben Johnson might be naked after that game. He took his shirt off last week.
Well, at the end of the day, it really is going to be about if the Bears can go into this game. I think that to me, they're a younger team. I think they have a chip on their shoulders going into Lambeau Field, being able to say, we are the Bears and we are ready to claim this division. We're on top of this division and we're going to show you why today. I
think it's a very interesting point that you know this inside and out, you've lived it and all the lore of this rivalry, that it sort of feels like a key to not be overlooked is the emotions of this rivalry in this game. You're sort of saying whichever squad can keep their emotions low and in check walks away with the win. I think that's interesting, and I don't know which team that is. It might be Green Bay if we look at, like, you know, all the stories, all the press clippings, all of that is about Chicago right now. They're the hot team, so I wonder if the Packers are like, okay, great, come here, come to the daddy of this rivalry in the past 10 years or so. It's very interesting. On the Bears side, I don't know if you heard this, Coach, but Ben Johnson, their coach now, he said that they're winning in spite of their passing game, which has been all over social media. Like, why is he saying that? Is he calling out his team? Is it about Caleb? We know they have the talent on offense. Do you see a miss or a hole in their passing game, and how do they fix that?
Well, you just continue to work on it. I think that when you're winning, sometimes there are a number of things that you can kind of miss because you just want to win the game, and you go back to, well, look, what are you complaining about? We won the game. What's the problem? But I think at the end of the day, for someone like Ben Johnson, it's really about execution and being someone that really is used to executing and having a quarterback that's on the same page. And I think Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson is getting to that place to where I can really see the influence of Ben Johnson on Caleb Williams. And I can see Caleb Williams, I can see the confidence growing. And for a quarterback, that's everything.
Yeah,
when you have a quarterback that's confident, it means everything. It really does.
Taking down the Eagles, and if they take down the Packers, he's going to be a level of confidence that we've not yet seen, I don't think, out of young Caleb Williams. I love that you love him. It sounds like you support him and have his back. I think that's very, very cool. When you're talking about Ben Johnson, I've only met him once. There's a level of winning isn't enough. That is sort of what I would say about him. I think he's a perfectionist in that way. Like, winning isn't enough. He'll have something to say. He wants it. You know, he in a preseason game will keep going to run the score up. You know, that's just who he is. So when it comes to this, and he's a brilliant play caller, of course, as we know, how do you balance as a coach? And how do you balance as a coach not, like, letting everything out as they play the Bears again? They play the Packers again in 2 weeks. How do you balance not emptying out the playbook when you want to put your how hard is it to do that?
It's very difficult, especially when you're playing in an emotional game. Today, you're trying to figure out, we want to go out and we want to win this game. We want to go out and we want to show why we're the number one team in this division. We want to do all those things. But we see these guys again in a couple of weeks. And it does get messy, but it's important to really look at the team and have the guys understand, look, we got here today. We've been playing good football up to this point, and it's important that we make progress. It's important that we don't get lost in all the other stuff. Let the fans, let the media, let them handle all of that. Let's focus on taking another step today, because that's what it's going to be. In order for the Bears to continue to get better, you have to look at each week and say, what are our goals this week? What are we trying to accomplish this week? And, oh, by the way, if we do those things, we're going to win the game too.
It'll be interesting to see if I imagine he has things saved up for this game based off press conferences in June or whenever he was hired. It'll be interesting to see, do you let it all out? And then you'll figure it out 2 weeks later? Or if you have some restraint. I would hate to see, it's a tough thing. I would never want to be a coach. You know, you've done it, you've been there. Like, man, not showing everything in your playbook sounds like a tough task in an emotional game, and he is an emotional guy. LaFleur also, they're two very emotional guys.
Yes, it really comes down to how well do you know your team? How well do you know your quarterback? How well do you know your players? And do they understand and do they buy into, hey guys, we got to save some for the next time we play them. Hey guys, we want to make sure, because the players are like, hey, we got to win today. We got to go out and win it. You know, the players are thinking at a different level. They want to win. I don't care about all that other stuff. As a coach, you not only want to win, you have to think about it. It's kind of like a parent and a child. You know, they're children. It's you know, mom and dad, we want to have a good Christmas, so we got to make sure we save today in order to have Christmas, okay? In order to buy you that toy and all that. But you're thinking, I don't care about all that. I want today. I want what's happening today. And I think it's the same thing when it comes to players and coaches. Players want it now, and coaches, that's what they get paid to do. They have to think about the sequence. They have to think about the buildup. They have to think about how much do we leave in the tank in order to have what we need at that time to take us over that hump.
We'll see who wins. You picked the Bears, which I forced you to do, so don't worry. We won't hold you to that one. It'll be a brilliant game. Great analysis. I wanted to ask you about something I saw last night, and I don't know if you watched the Lions-Cowboys game. It's okay if you didn't, because we're going to show you, hopefully, some highlights of this Jahmyr Gibbs character, okay? What he is doing is unbelievable. He's tied Barry Sanders for the most touchdowns before age 24. You, my friend, played against Barry 8 times in your career. When you're watching this, when you're watching Gibbs, what stands out? Are the comps to Barry okay? What say you? You
know, looking at this young man, he's an extraordinary player, extraordinary balance. He has a tremendous balance in terms of a complete player. When I think of Barry Sanders, you think of Barry. What else can you say about Barry Sanders? He was a different kind of player. He was electrifying. You put him on the field, and it was just beauty in motion. Barry was an artist. And so, but you look at this young man that I saw last night. he is absolutely amazing, because he's basically a guy that, you know what, just give me the ball. I'm going to figure it out. And once again, I think the Lions are using him really, really well. I think there is a great combination of a team that really understands the talent that they have and being able to utilize that talent in the passing game as well as in the running game. He's tough enough that he can handle the pounding, and he's quick enough and elusive enough where you can put him out in space, and he's a great skill position player as well.
Yes, he lined up at wide receiver yesterday. We talked about it a lot going into this game. Amon-Ra wasn't maybe ready to go. They lost their tight end, and I said, line him up at wide receiver. They did. I love the laugh. I love that because it's fun to watch. It's all that. But from your position, I'd like to know your one key in slowing him down, especially at wide receiver. How do you slow this guy down?
Well, you know, I'm going to say what I always say about great receivers, great running backs. You got to get hands on them. You have to be technically sound. You can't. Oh, that's going to be oh man.
Wait,
this guy is going to face so much in the film room today.
Show that again.
What are you doing? That's the running back. But you know, I get it. Sometimes it happens. This guy that was a great play. That'll be a feature for a long time.
What do you make of that play?
Wow. You know what? The cornerback just thought he was going to continue to go to the sideline, and he was going to really lower the boom on him at the sideline, and he just didn't. He just changed his mind. So it happens. It happens to the best of us.
It happens. I don't know if is there a highlight that exists of you like that? I don't know.
Yeah, that was a tough one. And I'm thinking the cornerback knew that he had somebody coming from the inside. So he just knew he had help from the inside. He did, but it was coming late. And, it was a tough play.
It was a tough play. That's not good. That's such a funny line. We're going to take a TV break. We're still live on YouTube with Mike Singletary, the legend, the giggly legend ahead of Bears Packers. We'll be back, but we are still very much live. And I wanted to ask you this one question, because you were, GOAT defensive player. LT, Bruce Smith, Reggie White, Mike Singletary. Okay, you are the person who can speak about this. Myles Garrett is going to break the sack record. Where do you view him among the greats?
Well, it's tough to really categorize someone like Myles Garrett. He's a different kind of animal, and I say animal in the nicest sense, because he is a freak of nature. To look at him and what he can do, dunking a basketball flat-footed, and a very natural athlete. He could play linebacker, but he's just a tremendous athlete. I remember him coming out of college, and they were thinking of drafting somebody else. And they, well, what do you think about if we draft this guy? What do you think about it? Are you kidding me? Myles Garrett, but you better draft this kid, and you better draft him yesterday because he's special. And he's proven that. He is a tremendous player, and he is just a very difficult guy to match up against. And to put a tackle on him alone is you're asking that tackle to do a lot. You're going to have to chip. You're going to have to do something extra. You may have to put it back on him as well, and a tight end. So, but the quarterback's got to get rid of the ball.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for making time for us today. It's lovely to get your analysis, to get some giggles out of you, and I'm just glad I'm not a Packer that had to deal with you all of those times. Have a beautiful, blessed holiday. God bless you and your family and your loved ones. We appreciate it, Mike.
Same to you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.